Hello boys and girls, now I am making this little update video and I will be putting this on all platforms, so I'll be shaping it for all platforms to give a little bit of a update on something. So, in TT 2025, late earlier, like a month ago, and funny enough, everything is kind of, shut down now until the Manx Grand Prix and the Classic TT last year. But interestingly, one thing that has come in the news, and I feel like I need to get on this one just in case my channel comes on fire for this one. So, as people might know or might not know, that over TT 2025, we were down live streaming, doing live vlogs and all that, until, I think it was the Wednesday or Thursday, we got taken down because of a video from 2024. Now, I want to give a little bit update. It was put back on the Friday because, my mum held and everything. But interestingly, a MXK that has helped myself with all different things, and my mum knows. Now, I'm MXK for anyone internationally. That's like a local politician, an MP. Now, he has interestingly took a written question and a question to our Parliament, Tynwald. Now, I think he actually spoke it in Parliament too, and I'll try and get that clip. But we're also going to have a listen to what is said in a minute. I've got my read on it, and I'm going to press play, and I'll let you listen to it, secondly, to see what your opinions are. So we'll add that in next. But before I add that in, be honest, where I was, it was a public place. It was not in an area where you need a pass. It was not in an area that was illegal. So we cannot find any law going against this. And if anyone is watching on Parliament or Tynwald, I think it's really disrespectful that there's still not been an apology from the department of why you took down my live stream with no reason, no causes. And you're going to have a laugh at what the minister says when a MXK asked in Parliament about streamers and YouTubers. Now, the reason I feel like this MXK, I'll tell you the background story. I went to a local MXK that is brilliant with disabilities. I've gone through other issues, and I went to him and told him what this was on the day, and I think he was trying to help in the background over TT. Nothing really got sorted until later on. So in our Parliament in Tynwald, so I'm going to try and find the the voice clip when he asked the question in Tynwald and what the minister said there. But we also have it as, so there's a thing called written questions, and I've put my reader on the written question. So let's have a listen to what the minister says. Let's have a listen together. Let's have a listen together thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set let the video clip. I recorded it reading out what is said. And we're gonna listen to that first, and then I'm going to make my opinion. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we're gonna just talk about what was said. So we're back in a couple of minutes.
Enterprise. The Honourable Member for Douglas Central, Mr. Thomas, to ask the Minister for Enterprise, whether members of the public can A. film and B. live stream TT races and festival of motoring footage from private land and public roads, and if not, why not? Question W202501-1634 published on June 10, 2025, answer published on June 24, 2025. The Minister for Enterprise, Mr. Johnston. The Isle of Man TT races is one of the world's most iconic motorsport events, and the Department for Enterprise, as the rights holder and promoter of the event, is committed to preserving the integrity, sustainability, viability, and visibility of the event. Members of the public are permitted to film from public areas, and fans are actively encouraged to share their experiences and content online. This is a great way for fans to get involved, as well as supporting the global visibility of the TT races, helping to further grow the event's audience. However, This must be done responsibly and with an understanding of the important distinction between occasional sharing of fan-created short clip content, and activities which replicate or compromise the event's official live broadcast. The close management of the event's live streaming is important as it enables the official broadcasters to safely share all the action from the races in a professional and high-quality format. The live broadcast is also one of the event's main commercial revenue streams, generating essential income to offset the cost to the public purse of running the event. Safeguarding the TT's live broadcast and additional TV highlights broadcast agreements is critical to the delivery and long-term sustainability of the TT, as this generates over £2 million of income. The department is contractually obliged through individual agreements to protect the market exclusivity that broadcasters pay rights fees for. As is standard practice at major sporting events, the department maintains the right to use digital rights management tools on platforms such as YouTube to remove unofficial live streams that infringe on these broadcasts. This approach is not intended to restrict genuine fan engagement, but rather to protect the commercial interests and significant investment required to deliver the event. The department also maintains a clear and robust media accreditation process, detailed in the Isle of Man TT Races Media Event Information Pack, which ensures professional content capture is licensed for commercial and media use appropriately. This includes the regulation of commercial filming and the licensing of any footage that may be captured from areas requiring ticket or pass access, even if shot from private land or public roads. In summary, while filming from public roads is permitted and fans are encouraged to share content, the expectation is that this is done responsibly, and therefore unofficial live streaming or filming in a manner that replicates the official broadcast is not permitted. This ensures that the TT races can continue to deliver a world-class event while protecting the income streams that support its continued success. Whilst the department is also the rights holder for the Classic TT, it does not own the rights to the Manx Grand Prix or Southern 100, and so any questions regarding these events should be directed to the relevant race promoter.
Interestingly, I've listened with you, and the interesting parts is that, from my listen, the minister enterprises couldn't really reference any Timward law. So what Timward, I would love to know, if anyone is watching, what act of Timward gives you the right to take down my content? Because the thing is in the Isle of Man, you cannot, do anything really without an act of Timward. And be honest, when he says about, protecting the TT plus the TT thing, I don't see how live streams like myself, and there's also one in Ramsey, there's a content creator in Ramsey, there's on Facebook, and there's other streamers too. The content, it was not winning any problem with the Isle of Man TT. It's giving people a choice to choose one or the other. They choose the official one or this live streamer that's doing it, but, the thing, because not everyone has money, and I think that's also a bit of demonstration that you want everyone to pay for what's a road race. Not everyone can afford the TT plus, and also secondly, if anyone is watching from that, do you realize that the TT plus, if I remember right, and I've watched, so I've heard from other people, and even myself, I remember when I was live streaming over TT, there was plenty of people, and I went back in the comments, and also the ones I could get my read on, my mum could read out to me. There was a bunch saying that TT plus was not actually covering the footage. They were not covering some of the practices. They were in the studio, not showing the actual racing. So I think the minister is completely wrong here. And the thing is he has not given any legal right. When he said about the tools, he said something about tools of YouTube. That's interesting, because YouTube rules, if I remember rightly, say you have to give evidence. If I've got it right, you have to give evidence, and then rightly you have to, explain. You can't just copyright the copyright rules. You cannot copyright someone's own content. Literally. If it's coming from my phone, it is technically my content. Definitely when it's in a public place. And where I was a public place. Now, I would completely understand if I was in the area where there's a live pass that you need a pass. but you don't need a pass to stream a public road. And interestingly, they were only talking about the Classic TT and the Manx Grand Prix. So, I have to make a decision if I still do this in Classic TT or not, or I just focus on the Manx Grand Prix, though I don't think I should be. Sorry, I don't think I should be. I was doing it, for the love of watching this. And I wanted to say there has been a couple of news stories about this. I've also had one news story that's actually tagged the video of me telling you guys there was a TikTok, I think it was a TikTok YouTube story. And I just want to put out that was nothing to do with me. And be honest, I don't think the people that whoever the news organization didn't contact me. There was some news company called Isle of Red something. I think it was like Isle of Red News or Isle of Red TV News or something. I can't remember the top of my head. And there was a story about thing. And honestly, it was ridiculous. They didn't really comment to both departments. Now, interestingly, they said they don't have any talk for the Manx Grand Prix and the Southern 100, but they still for the Classic TT and the TT. But they didn't really go, that didn't go in there, and I've already gone back to Chris Thomas, David and hopefully he'll respond back. That, be honest, it didn't say what law any live streams would be breaking. They actually just said rights. Now, there's a difference. There's you have rights and then you have laws. And acts of Tynwald are the ones who will stop it. Now, I would love to know what acts of Tynwald stops people filming and live streaming in the public thing. And the minister didn't answer this question. And it's just typical Tynwald for not answering the questions of the people. So, yeah. But don't worry, I'm still going to do this content. I will still do TT content, if it's live or recorded on TT, Classic TT, the Manx Grand Prix. And sadly, I would love to do 700, but I think the 700 is on days that I'll have to look at the schedule. I think the 700 is on days that I am a bit busy or can't get down. I think it's kind of on days like, it's in the middle of the week, it's not on the weekend, and it's also, we don't get 700 off, though I need to find out if we're going to be off the Manx Grand Prix or I'm going to have to take days off for it to, go and watch the practices and all thing. We'll have to work that out. So yeah, so the Manx Grand Prix is later this year. So let's actually talk about that. So the Manx Grand Prix, we have back in August, I think it's in August or September, it's August I think, we've got the Manx Grand Prix and we've got the Classic CT. Two events right together. Two events together again. Now, the Classic TT was before the pandemic, and I think we did a lot of videos way back, so, we're going to have the Classic TT and the Manx Grand Prix. Completely two events. The Classic TT is owned by the Manx government and all that, and you've got the Manx Grand Prix that's been going for 102 or 101 years. Was last year was the 100th year, or was the year before? My brain. I think it was last year or the year before was the 100th year. So it's 101 or 102 years. So yeah, we'll be down for that. And it's only like 50 something days until the Manx Grand Prix. Yeah. So we'll be definitely back down, no matter what thing. And, I will, keep going on to minister, I will still content my MHK because, it's MHK that I know and it's dealt with me. Hopefully this MHK will be in after Tynwald, after the next election, or if not, we'll have to find someone else that's friendly enough. But at the moment, he's still in, and yeah. And it's this, all I'm going to say before we move on, and I'll just quickly talk about the Manx Grand Prix and all that. I think it's ridiculous that you're taking down people when your own TT coverage won't even cover half of the practices. When there's a red flag, instead of, having a camera showing what's going on, you just cut the live stream. Or when it's bad weather, you don't let people know. You go back to a studio and don't even talk about it. You don't even know the histories and stories. And interestingly, not one person on the TT TV Plus coverage is even from the island that knows about it. Okay, yes, some of them are X-raters. But, I don't feel like you know much of the history. Okay, Manx Radio knows a little bit more, but even Manx Radio is playing a lost that because of the Classic TT. And, interestingly, I don't think the Classic TT, they have the live stream thing, so I don't think we'll have much of this problem. So, yeah. Let's just quickly get on with the Manx Grand Prix. Now, the Manx Grand Prix for this year is from the... Now, so it's going to be interesting. So you've got the two schedules. So, from my understanding, some of the practices, what they'll have is they'll have two schedules.